The Speaker of the National Assembly, Max Sisulu, has established an ad hoc committee to investigate the Nkandla scandal. The ad hoc committee will have to report back to Parliament by the 30th of April 2014.
The committee makes a substantive ruling based on a series of investigations, which include this mandate that's been given by the Speaker, and then it submits those recommendations to the House. So it can recommend one of two things. So the President should be fired, the President should not be fired. Or it can recommend that further investigations should take place. Once the committee has wrapped up its work, it is then up to us to call for the House to vote on the motion based on the work of the committee, the recommendations of the committee, or not, depending on what the outcome of those investigations are. So there's a difference between the ad hoc committee that does the work on Parliament's behalf to determine whether or not the President should be removed, and the motion itself, which is actually dealt with on the floor of the House. So the ad hoc committee will not deal with my motion, the House will deal with my motion. And I will table that motion when the ad hoc committee has completed its work. That's why I asked the Speaker for one of two things. Either he could put the Public Protector's report directly to the House and say, answer the question, should he be fired or not, or a better outcome, which is what we have now, is give an ad hoc committee on behalf of Parliament an opportunity to investigate thoroughly whether the President should be removed from office or not, and then make a recommendation to the House. On the basis of that recommendation, we will vote.
The ad hoc committee has to come back and report to Parliament. Parliament has to consider the outcome of whatever the ad hoc committee decides. That can't be just done by the Speaker in isolation. So my view and reading of the rules and reading of the letter that I got from the Speaker's office is that Parliament will have to be recalled to consider the report. Now that doesn't mean that it also goes in hand with the motion, as you quite rightly say. But the Speaker can only react to the content of the motion. He can't decide that the motion is invalid. Only if the wording of the motion is not consistent with parliamentary procedures, he can then react on it. He's not given us any indication that he's not happy with the wording of the motion, and I'm convinced that this ad hoc committee has been formed precisely because of Lindiwe's motion.
We believe there's ample time to deal with this. It's the reason I moved the motion, and I believe the Speaker he must think there's ample time because he has given us a deadline and a set of terms of reference. So there's plenty of capacity, I think, in Parliament to make this work. So I'm certainly not worried about the question of time. The bond question, like the 29 unanswered questions, is another issue that Thuli Madonsela could not get to the bottom of because the President dodged her questions. And again, Parliament has the ability to subpoena documents and people. Now, we were willing to let the President engage with the Public Protector on this matter. In fact, it was he who first said that he would rather do it that way, but when given the opportunity, he dodged the question and didn't produce the documents. Now it's for Parliament to wade in and say, you have to actually produce proof that you didn't lie to the House last year when you said you had a bond on this House.